We all love the G-Wagon, and one of the major reasons why we love it so much is the V8 engine that propels it. But not everybody needs a G63 AMG, and that's where this G-Wagon comes into the picture, because Mercedes has updated the diesel G-Wagon by giving it more power. So out goes the G450d and in comes this, the G450d, but with a minor facelift. And minor it is because most of the changes aren't that apparent, as they are subtle at best. The grille is new and so is the front bumper and alloy wheel design, with Mercedes having made minor tweaks around the A-pillar to improve aerodynamics. No, really, I didn't make that up. A literal box on wheels now cheats wind better. On the inside, the big change is the new steering wheel, which is an AMG unit because this is the AMG line. This part sees some revision with new buttons for off-road functions, with a newly added transparent bonnet view. And yes, there's a new off-road menu both in the infotainment and instrument cluster. The big update though is that this 12.3-inch screen now works with touch. Yes, the G400d didn't have touchscreen, and thankfully Mercedes continues to offer a ton of physical buttons, including one full row of switches for the air conditioning and a touchpad for navigating through the screen. The G400d didn't have keyless entry, which too has been added in the G450d. But what's the big deal? Incorporating keyless entry in such an old school door handle wasn't easy. That's it, the G450d remains largely similar to the G400d in almost every other aspect, which means it has its own fair share of pros and cons. Let's look at what could be better. For a car that measures more than 4.8 meters in length and has a wheelbase of almost 2.9 meters, rear seat space is average at best. You have to climb into the car, the seat is high, and footroom, legroom and knee room isn't great, but headroom is good. The seat reclines quite a bit, but there is no seat ventilation at the rear, just seat heating. Then there is the lack of equipment, which is unacceptable at this price point, like no head-up display, no extendable sun visors, no rear sun blinds. Steering has touch controls which aren't intuitive to use. The space here is less, so using the wireless phone charger isn't easy. The car is obsessed with turning off every time you park or open the driver door. There is no panoramic sunroof, and the small sunroof sun blind is manual and not robust and tends to slide open on accelerating hard. The boot, while big at 640 liters, is hindered by the parcel shelf, which has been placed in line with the window. Thankfully, the roof can take 150 kgs of weight with a roof rack. The most frustrating part though is the ADAS system in this car, because the active brake assist is just way too intrusive. It's too aggressive and brakes at times where it doesn't really need to, and it kind of catches you by surprise. However, you can turn off active brake assist. The problem is that every time you turn off the car, active brake assist automatically turns back on, which means that every time you turn on the car, you have to make sure to go in the menu, turn off active brake assist, which becomes very frustrating. Mercedes has actually resolved this issue in their latest models like the E-Class, wherein once you turn off the active brake assist, it remains off even after you turn off the car. However, there's a lot to like, and undoubtedly it's the design that wows you over. It's boxy, it's old school with round headlamps, exposed hinges and side hinge tailgate mounted spare wheel. But the G-Wagon is modern in every way, with full LED lights, logo projection from the outside rear view mirrors and Mercedes-Benz branding on the brake calipers. What's truly spectacular though is the iconic boxy design of the G-Wagon, with the round headlights, flared wheel arches and indicators placed on the hood that actually cost Mercedes a lot more money than traditional indicators. On the inside, the grab handle on the co-driver's side is super cool, and the lock and unlock sound of the doors are very satisfying to the ears. They replicate the sound of a machine gun. But the most amazing thing about the G-Wagon are the doors. You can actually slam close them with as much aggression as you want. They are built that tough. Some highlight features include a 12.3-inch instrument cluster which has multiple display modes, front seat heating, ventilation and massage. There are 8 options. Electric adjust for the steering wheel and front seats with extendable under-thigh support, 64-color ambient lighting, 360-degree parking camera, 3-zone climate control air conditioning, wherein the AC vents change color to blue when you decrease temperature and change to red when you increase temperature. This only happens for a couple of seconds. Heated and cooled cup holders at the front, 18 speaker 760 watt Burmester 3D surround audio system that sounds fantastic. Nine airbags, lockable glove box, headlight washers, rear camera cleaning spray, rear wiper washer, and the ability to park itself. Yes, this big and heavy G-Wagon has auto park too. By the way, this car has a very unique exhaust placement, which is somewhere on the center right. You can't easily spot it. But the biggest USP of the G-Wagon is the way it drives, and the G450d is the most powerful diesel G-Wagon ever. So let's give it the beans. Alright, let's start driving. Is that the Shuckle Mountains? Because it obviously states it there that this is Shuckle proof. Let's bang close the door. Oh my goodness, that feels so satisfying. Let's turn on the vehicle. It says top up washer fluid. Automatically the audio system turns on and some fan is making sound. Even though the climate control air conditioning system is off, there's some fan sound coming from somewhere. It stops automatically after some time. Top up washer fluid. I'll do that because obviously a lot of spray happens on the wipers. So yeah, it really makes the windscreen completely wet. Well, that's what she said. Straight away we come into drive and off we go. And trust me on this, it feels so amazing to drive. Okay, over speed breakers you have to be a bit slow, which has definitely improved here because the suspension has been updated. Obviously with the second generation of the G-Wagon, it gets better suspension, it gets independent front suspension, but at the rear you still get rigid axles, which is one of the major reasons, not just the reason, but also the ladder frame is one of the major reasons why the ride quality of this car isn't that great. Definitely not in line with say monocoque SUVs, because there's this lumpiness which you can feel at lower speeds, and that is a bit of a problem if you're looking for comfort from this car, because it's just not as comfortable. You can feel the side to side rocking movement as well. Yeah, this car has a long suspension travel too. However, there is no air suspension. It gets adaptive dampers. In comfort mode, obviously it feels better, and there automatic emergency braking things. I'm going to go straight around the corners. You can feel the body roll, but it's the feel of driving a G-Wagon because you're perched so high up. You can see the complete bonnet. You can obviously see the indicators as well. You definitely feel like the king of the road. It feels so damn freaking awesome to drive. But there's a huge problem with this car, which is the turning radius. It's massive to say the least. I'm going to try and take a U-turn from here, and trust me, it is just not possible without taking a reverse, because look at this. Full lock to lock, it just would not turn, and then I have to take a reverse obviously, and this is largely because the car doesn't have rear wheel steering. It needs rear wheel steering, and then people click photos right, left and center of this car because they find it to be massively desirable, which it is. And then automatic emergency ringing all the time. Yeah, Mercedes' ADAS system is a bit too intrusive, so you feel the roll around the corners. The steering is good, obviously not G63 AMG levels, but it's a fun car to drive because there's so much grunt on offer here. Ride is decent, not great I would say. High speed stability is not something you would expect from a car of this shape, and the handling is actually impressive for something which weighs this much. 2,489 kgs, a 50 kg increase when compared to the G450d. How did that weight increase? Because the engine is the same, right? Not really, because displacement has changed from 2925 cc. Usually I'm telling you the dimensions, I'm just so confused. So it's 2925 cc in the G350d and the G450d. Now the displacement is 2989 cc, which is an improvement, like a slight increase in displacement, but the big change is to the output numbers of this car. The G450d produces 330 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque, which was itself a big upgrade when compared to the G350d, because the G350d was producing 286 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque, and yeah, the upgrade happened to be approximately 44 horsepower and 100 Newton meters. But now with the 450d, the upgrade is much more. Okay, we are just trying to figure out how you're going to navigate, because this is a very small lane and this is a huge car. It's top heavy, and that's also one of the major reasons why the ride quality isn't that great, and ladder frame obviously. But anyways, let's not digress from the engine specifications. So here with the G450d, performance has increased and improved dramatically by 37 horsepower and 50 Newton meters, because this 3-liter inline straight 6 diesel engine, it actually inline engine, okay, not straight 6, sort of same but different. Anyways, this 3-liter inline 6-cylinder engine, it makes 367 horsepower and a torque output of 750 Newton meters. But that is not the major highlight here, because now this car also has the 48-volt mild hybrid system, which results in a boost. So the battery is 48 volt, the electric motor is 20 horsepower and gives a boost of 200 Newton meters. So because this boost is not consistent throughout, you don't add up 367 plus 20 horsepower or 750 Newton meters plus 200 Newton meters, because that's not how it works. And I don't know why there's a jam all of a sudden. Yeah, turning radius is quite a bit of a problem here. So in terms of output, does that car look similar? Absolutely not. Stop calling it the Amiro ki Bolero. Yeah, so in terms of output numbers, the big change is the 48 volt mild hybrid system, because it has an integrated starter generator, which means that when the car start-stop system engages, the vehicle turns off, obviously, right? And when the vehicle actually turns off now, what happens? The AC usually turns off. Not here, because the 48 volt system, it continues to run the AC compressor, thereby saving fuel in this car. That's a good thing. Along with this, obviously it has the coasting function. It gives a little bit of boost while accelerating. And how does it charge the battery? While decelerating. And obviously it has got regen braking as well. I don't know what's wrong today, so much traffic on the road, which actually brings me to this particular menu right here, wherein I am just going to come into individual and we are going to try and make changes. So like I said, it doesn't have air suspension, it has got adaptive dampers, and the adaptive dampers vary depending on the drive mode. So I can change the drive from sport to comfort and eco. Same thing I can do with the suspension, comfort, sport and trail. So it has got 3 off-road modes. I think there's trail, there's snow, there's sand probably. Steering can be made either sport or comfort. So this is basically when you try and alter the drive mode with respect to the individual setting, customizing it. Otherwise you obviously have various drive modes. So there's sand, rock, there's no snow mode, there's trail, there's eco, comfort and sport. We're going to come into sport because sport obviously gives you the best performance, because sport makes tweaks, multiple tweaks. It makes to what all things? It makes tweaks to the engine, the gearbox, as well as the steering and the suspension as well, and the ESP system too. Yeah, that also gets altered. I'm just going to make a change to the cluster mode. Yeah, I like the cluster modes on this car. So in terms of performance, yeah, it's very much likable. I know the G-Wagon doesn't have the best aerodynamics. What they have done is given it acoustic glass to improve sound insulation, but it has not really worked because the windscreen is so freaking upright. You hear some sound here at higher speeds, so wind noise can be felt there, and it's a lot of traffic today. I don't know why. Anyways, the performance is unbelievably awesome. The way it pulls is so satisfying. You get onto the throttle, there is no hesitation. That 48 volt mild hybrid system works like magic here. You just never feel any lag whatsoever, because there is none. Yeah, there is absolutely no lag here. It's instant response thanks to the electric assist, which really helps a car this heavy. By the way, the ISG, the integrated starter generator, is placed right between the engine and the transmission. Okay, we'll just stop and launch it here, which means first things first, let's change this mode right here. Coming to the classic one, which I like the most, hazard lights on. We have to actually turn off the ESP system, which is into settings, not really, just come out from this particular menu. I press a button here, the car menu, ESP off. That's done. We are in sport drive mode. Let me reset this as well. Air conditioning is off completely. Now it is off. Hazard lights off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, and rev still 4000 RPM in neutral. Yeah, no soft limiter as such here. Into drive, revving the motor again. There is no launch control, but rev still almost 2500 RPM, and off we go. That is quite the performance. Honestly, it pushes so hard and fast. It's amazing. 0 to 100 km per hour in 5.46 seconds, which is faster than Mercedes' claim, but that's not accurate because we were on a downslope. So I'm going to do a test on flat land. Mercedes claims 0 to 100 km per hour in 5.8 seconds, 0.6 seconds faster than the G450d, which was itself 1 second faster than the G350d. So yeah, faster and faster and faster is what this car is getting. The OM656 engine, which is this engine, is fantastic. It does duty in a lot of cars, including the GLS450d in India and the E450d and the S450d abroad. We don't have the E450d, we have the E450, but we need the E450d because a diesel is a freaking diesel. The thing is that performance is really very smooth. In fact, there is no lag as such because obviously the electric motor makes sure that there is no turbo lag. So from get-go, it moves ahead very nicely, smoothly, and with a lot of refinement as well. It's then around 2500 RPM is when it shifts gears when you are driving on part throttle. However, once you push it hard beyond 3000 RPM, it wakes up and gives you a nice thrust ahead and pulls through the red line with a lot of enthusiasm. It's a lovely engine. It's beautiful. It's so punchy. It's so aggressive. And it literally lifts the front end because it has a long suspension travel, because of which on heavy acceleration the front end lifts a bit, and then this car goes brrr. Okay, that's the G450d AMG, but this one also goes with a lot of enthusiasm around the corners. Though you have to be a bit wary because there's a lot of it, there's a lot of body roll, so you have to manage that, and the steering isn't very responsive as such. But look at the way this heavy beast is cornering right now. Oh my goodness, it's so damn fast. Redlining at around 4,500 RPM. Fantastic engine, great performance, such a joy to drive this car, and that's one of the major reasons why people love the G-Wagon. It's the driving feel. It's absolutely unparalleled. You could hear a lot of the suspension, right? Low profile tires, ladder frame, all those things don't really help here much because obviously you can feel the road a lot of times, and this is largely because this car has been made to go off-road, although not many people take it off-road. It has got all the off-road hardware which you would ever expect or want from your car, like 3 mechanical locking differentials, 3 of them, low range transfer case as well, 241mm of ground clearance, 700mm of water wading capacity. It's unbelievable how Mercedes has made sure that this car stays as authentic to the original from 1979. In fact, it's made in the exact same building as it was since day one, and Mercedes does not manufacture it. It's outsourced to a company called Magna Stir or Magna International, and the name keeps changing actually. And Mercedes is like, even though we can make it now, we continue to keep the heritage and the history intact by making sure it's produced where it was produced since day freaking one. Now, when I drive along other cars and all, I can see the top of them. I can even see the top of a freaking BMW SUV like an X5. That's how tall this car is, which is unbelievable. It's so mind-blowing. And there the assistance. Boxiness doesn't really help the aero bits one bit. All the Mercedes, like, we have improved it, and at high speeds obviously the movement is even more pronounced somehow because the way this car has been designed, it cannot cheat the wind at all. No aero efficiency as such. The CD value of my refrigerator is what this has, the coefficient of drag. But who's complaining? This iconic boxy design has become really iconic, and one of the major reasons why people love the G-Wagon so much. In fact, I forgot completely to come into this info mode. We'll come into the engine so you can see me when I throttle hard. You can see all that as well. There's a new off-road menu here which shows you a lot of important and crucial data as well, like the steering angle and obviously the tachometer, which you can see there. There's a compass in the center too. So much attention it grabs this car, especially this particular color. People are loving it. People are like, what is this color? It looks so freaking damn awesome. And what do I say? They are absolutely right here. I'm just going to come into the off-road menu for a bit because we are in the off-road menu here. So you can see a lot of data here, power and torque consumption, the suspension as well. And then you can get into tracks and set them up for off-roading. This is like insane, the amount of stuff Mercedes keeps innovating all the time. Now, every time I sit in a new Mercedes car and I see, oh my god, there's something new here. Wow, what is happening? And yeah, the role becomes part of the journey. It becomes part of the experience. You really enjoy it. Obviously, if you want a traditional SUV, there's the GLE, but a GLE can do off-roading, but not as much as this car, because this car can conquer the worst of terrains. It has the off-road hardware. It has got a lot of electronic systems as well. You name it, this car can do it all. And that is the reason why people love it, because it is indeed stronger than time. It is indeed built to last. It's tough. It's super tough. And in spite of the toughness and the weight, it still is quite fast. Performance is supremely impressive here. What a car, what a machine. And it has a 9-speed torque converter automatic gearbox, which is very fast with shifts. It does not hesitate at all. It gives you a shift without you even realizing it, although you have got manual control here. So here I am downshifting. it's upshifting right now. We're going to stop and change those settings because I think I have to go into the screen to do that. You can actually fly in this car. It feels so robust, especially when you're driving it on bad roads. It gobbles them up. Obviously you get shaken a bit, but then the car feels so rugged that you can fly at speeds you personally feel comfortable driving at. The G-Wagon is simply not affected. This car is now available with diesel, which is this one. There's a petrol, which is the G450d AMG, and there's obviously the electric, which is the G580 powered by EQ technology. So there's a G-Wagon in every possible powertrain option here. And the fun part is that the earlier G500, which was not sold in India, had a V8, but the unfun part is, not so fun part is that has been downsized. Now it gets a 6-cylinder engine with hybrid assist. So the V8 has been dropped. Thankfully, we don't get the G500, we only get the G450d AMG, which has better performance, better suspension, just a better car. Only thing is, where can you use all that power? A diesel is just more efficient. It has a 100-liter fuel tank, 100-liter. Real world efficiency around 6 to 7 kilometers per liter, dropping to single-digit numbers depending on the way you drive. So yes, at the end of the day, if you're buying a G-Wagon, you really don't care about efficiency. But if you do, well, get this one over the, get this one over the G450d AMG. You're going to be a lot happier in terms of not visiting the fuel pump often. And let's do the brake test at around 80 kilometers per hour. Brakes are very nice and strong, but obviously you can hear a bit of the ABS. Anyways, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Straight away, first let me change the cluster mode here and we come into the classic one because I think that's the best one. Info here, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard lights off, and off we go. Well, that's 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 5.7 seconds. Again, faster than Mercedes' claim. That's the level of performance. It's unbelievable. It's very fast. I know there is side-to-side movement. I know it has lumpy ride quality. I know it has wind noise. I know it's expensive. It's overpriced. There are a lot of things which are not right with this car for the price. However, the wheel articulation is absolutely amazing. The driving feel is phenomenal. Top speed 210 kilometers per hour. Even the G400d has a top speed of 210 kilometers per hour. However, the G350d had a top speed of just 200 kilometers per hour. Obviously, you can unlock the top speed. You can make it go faster if you want. You have to pay some money to Mercedes. Probably they'll make it faster. I think that happens only with the AMG, not with the diesel, because who will actually want to push the diesel hard and fast? I am not too sure. But as a car, this is absolutely phenomenal. The kind of performance, the kind of driving feel is unparalleled. It's just that if you're paying 3.5 crores, you might as well pay slightly more to get the G450d AMG, because at the end of the day, an AMG is an AMG and it makes light work of overtakes because of the level of performance. You can absolutely nail it, push it as hard as you like, and this car will not disappoint you at all. It's mind-blowing. What a machine! And if you want to get into manual mode, you have to press this button right here, which activates manual mode. I downshift and it does not hold on to a gear, it upshifts. So what's the point of having that button? Absolutely no point at all, because it will upshift when it hits the red line, not giving you manual control of things. The horn is absolutely phenomenal. I think one of the best horns in SUVs, without a doubt. And this is a proper old school rugged SUV, which is so phenomenal to drive. I absolutely love the G-Wagon. What a car! The second generation G-Wagon in diesel avatar has seen its price almost double since the G350d was launched almost 6 years back. Yes, time does fly. This G450d costs a whopping rupees 3.49 crores on road Mumbai, out of which you pay rupees 44.8 lakhs for the registration of this car and rupees 11.5 lakhs for the insurance of this car. Whoever said tax the rich hasn't really seen the tax on high-end cars like the G-Wagon. So this is a very expensive car, and you can actually get the GLC, the GLE and the GLS for the same money. I mean all three cars, but you're not Ajay Devgan, so you can drive only one at one time, which means that if you're looking for the best Mercedes SUV, this is not it. Because if you want the best, the G450d AMG is the one to get, because the G-Wagon is known for the G450d AMG's bonkers performance. Yes, it is a lot more expensive at rupees 4.83 crores on road Mumbai, which is rupees 1.34 crores more than this car. The G-Wagon is definitely overpriced, but there's nothing quite like the G-Wagon. It's the ultimate and most desirable SUV according to me. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's a like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.